Hey guys, Mr. Milton here. Today we're going to look at writing equations notes. At the end of these notes, you should be able to find the slope and y-intercept from multiple representations of a line, and you should be able to write the equation of a line from multiple representations. Okay, so recall, what two values do we need to write the equation of a line? And so you see that we need the y-intercept and the slope. Okay, and what are the variables in the equation y equals mx plus b? Remember that the variables are x and y. M and b, m stands for slope, b stands for y-intercept. Those are not variables. They don't change within the problem. Okay, now these are variables because they represent different, or 1 point on a line. And a point has coordinates x and y. So anytime you know a point on the line, you have specific values for x and y, which can help you find our slope and our y-intercept. Okay, and on a line, the reason that 1 point would be a variable is because the line has 100 points, 1,000,000 points, infinity points, right? So 1 point on a line, it changes over a line. 1 point changes, or the point change because there's more than one. Okay, so here are the general steps to follow as we write the equation of a line. We want to find the slope and find the y-intercept using any given point, and then write the equation in slope-intercept form. So here is some examples of doing just that. Try to get this also, it's all on the screen. I have it there. All right, that way I don't have to change it. All right, it says write the equation of the line that passes through the points 1, 6, and 3, 2. So first step, we're going to find the slope. Remember, we do that by using our slope formula, y2 minus 1 over x2 minus x1. So in this case, it'll be 2 minus 6 over 3 minus 1. 2 minus 6 gives us -4. 3 minus 1 gives us 2. That simplifies to give us -2, or -2 over 1. We'll leave it as -2 for our equation. So our slope, -2. Now, from there, we're going to try to find the y-intercept. Okay, we'll find the y-intercept here by using either of those points, and then after we use those points, plug it into the equation. So find the y-intercept, we have the slope equals y equals mx plus b. Since we know what our y is, and again, we can use either of these 2 points, I'm going to use the point 3, 2. So in this point, remember our x and our y is 2, our m is -2, our x is 3, and we do not know b yet, okay? But what we've done is we plugged in the values where they go, okay? So now we solve this equation for b, add 6 to both sides. We find out that b then must be 8. So now we have our slope, we have our y-intercept, and we can write the equation. Y equals -2x plus 8. Now this gets overlooked. A lot of times people will find the m, they'll find the b, and then they'll just move on to the next problem. Do not forget to write your final answer. Okay? So try that out on this problem. Okay, without the steps being basically separated for you. Okay, here's how that would look. We got y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. In this case, x1's -4, so it'll be minus negative plus. So 6 minus 9, -3, 8 plus 4, 12. We will simplify this as -1/4. Okay, so now that we have that, we can use either of these points. I'm going to use 8, 6 because they're both positive, and that way I won't mess up the signs. And so as I plugged it into y equals mx plus b, my y that I know was 6, my m that I've already found is -1/4, my x is 8 plus b, which I don't know. So -1/4 times 8 is -2. 6. All right, then we add 2 to both sides, and then we get b equals 8. Okay, so my y-intercept is 8. My slope is negative 1/4. And now I write my equation as y equals negative 1/4 x plus 8. Okay, and that's our process all together. All right, write an equation from a table. So again, from the table, how many points are we given? In this case, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're given 4 points. How many do you need to find the slope? Just 2. How many points do you need to write the equation of the line? Again, just 2. Okay, the table just gives us more information than we need. Okay, now again, we can choose any points that we want, just like we did last when we looked at our table last. So it really doesn't matter which ones you choose. I'm going to just choose these 2 because the numbers are pretty close there. Okay, so from -6 to -4 means it increases by 2. From 4 to 7, it increases by 3. My slope then, found y over x, is 3/2. Okay, I'm going to use one of these points, and I can use any point that I want to, but I'm going to use 825. I know 25 is a big number, but they're both positive. I won't mess up on the signs, so I'm going to use that one. And I'm going to plug it into y equals mx plus b. So 25 is my y, my m is 3/2, my x is 8, plus b. Okay, so 3/2 times 8, that's 24 over 1. Or sorry, 24 over 2, or 12. Subtract 12 from both sides. I find out that my b is 13. So I know my slope, I know my y-intercept, and now I can write my equation. Y equals 3/2 x plus 13. Number 3, write an equation from the graph. We've done this before, so what's different here? The difference here is before we had our y-intercept where it's visible. We didn't have to do anything to find it. It was here. Now, even though we're given a line, that y-intercept is going to happen at some point, probably down here somewhere, like a negative y-intercept, but it's not happening here. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to write 2 points. We're going to have to find 2 points and write it all out, basically like we did before. Why is this different? The y-intercept isn't seen, at least initially. Okay, so write 2 points that we found on the line. So let's find 2 points. I see one here. What does that look to be? -1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope, getting cross-eyed with these lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I was right. 6, -6, -2. Okay. All right, and then our other point, let's see. It looks like a point, right? So that's -5, -3, -4, -5, -5, -5. All right, great. All right, so I can find my slope. Let's see, it goes down 1, 2, 3, and over 1. -3, 1. Okay, so I don't need to write these into an equation because I can use just rise over run. So my slope then is -3 over 1, or just -3. I already have a couple points that I can choose from. I'm going to choose -5, -5. Okay, you can choose any one you want, but there, I'm going to choose -5, -5 because I can't mess up. Both x and y are -5, so my equation should be all right. So as I go through, I'm going to do that whole process. Remember, we could have done, step 1 was find the slope. We could plug it into the slope formula, but I just used the graph, -3, 1. Okay, so I found the slope. That was step 1, -3. Step 2 is to plug it into the equation. Y, -5, equals m, which we found to be -3 already, x, which was -5, plus b. So that will give us 15. Positive 15. I don't need to write positive 15 plus b equals -5. Okay, and now to get 15 over, I need to subtract 15 from both sides. I get -20. So my y-intercept is -20, which makes sense. We said our y-intercept should happen somewhere down here, right? And so we have our slope, we have our y-intercept. Our equation then is going to be y equals negative 3x minus 20. Okay. Okay, an alternate way. And I am required to show you this because it's a standard. But if you don't like this method, you don't have to use it. I just want to make sure I show you. Okay, so the other way that we can do this is called point slope form. And I'm just going to write this equation by it. Point slope form is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Okay, in point slope form, y and x are variables just like before. Okay, m is our slope, and then y1 and x1 are from the points. Okay, so from whatever point we're using. So the difference here is that we really don't have to solve for b like we did before, but it'll eventually come that way when we solve for y. So let's just go through it. With this point, we still need to find the slope, so that doesn't change. And so with these points, I'm going to do 6 minus 9 over 8 plus 4. And that was negative 3 over 12, or negative 1/4. Okay, so my slope is negative 1/4. And then what I'll do is I'll plug the information, I'm going to use the 0.86, into this equation. So y minus y1, in this case is 6, equals m, which we found to be negative 1/4, x minus 8. Okay, and now what we'll do is we'll just solve for y. Now we've plugged this information into the equation, we'll solve for y, and that will put it in the slope-intercept form. So y minus 6 stays the same on this side. Distribute this, negative 1/4 x. Negative 1/4 times negative 8 gives us positive 2. Okay, again, we're trying to solve for y, we're trying to get y by itself. We'll do that by adding 6 to both sides. We get y equals negative 1/4 x plus 8. Okay, our y-intercept's 8, our slope is negative 1/4, works out the same. Should be the same equation as we just did in the other method, okay? All right, so there we go. That's us writing equations given 2 points and multiple different pieces of information, which we basically each time whittled down to having 2 points, okay? All right, see you.